Is made and you want to rejoice and be glad in it. As you can already see, or maybe I hope you can already see, or you will see shortly, the studio has changed and we have a lot of goodies here. Why we have it, we'll be telling you that in a very short while. But we want to celebrate Thanksgiving Day with the US ahead of tomorrow, as it is the custom. They celebrate it every last Thursday of November every year, and they'll be telling us why Thursday, why the end of Thursdays every November. And these years, I've mentioned, is celebrated on the 27th. It's a mostly US holiday. That's what you're talking about with my guest this morning. That is James Hagengruber. I hope I'm not butchering your name. If I am, you'll correct me. He's the information officer and spokesman at the US Embassy right here in Nairobi, Kenya. And we'll be speaking to find out if maybe this is something that we can borrow, the Thanksgiving, why they celebrate it, what is the history of Thanksgiving, and all the ins and outs as far as Thanksgiving is concerned. That is what we are talking about this morning. Welcome to Morning Cafe. Is this your first time, James?
Thanks, Anne. Yeah, it's my first time here on air at TV47. I've been to your studio and we've been grateful. We're happy that we've had TV47 at the embassy at some of our parties, our events, and interviewing our ambassadors and chargés in the past. So it's wonderful to be here. So
how do you say welcome in Swahili? How long have you been in Kenya?
A little over a year.
Yeah.
It's Karibu, yeah.
Welcome. Good. Okay. And when you say thanks, how do you say it?
Asante.
Great, you're doing well. I was about to high five you.
Okay.
So tell us, what do we have here today? I've already alluded to it. Thanksgiving, and we have a lot of goodies here displayed this morning.
So this is a traditional Thanksgiving feast. We, as you said, it's the last Thursday of November. President Abraham Lincoln started the holiday officially in 1863 when we were having a civil war, so it was probably our darkest period as a country. And it was a time for families to get together and just like sit down at the table, have a very, I guess, extravagant meal together to be grateful for what we do have. So even when it was the worst part of our history, there were still reasons to celebrate and to remember. And often that was just for your health, for your family. It's become one of our most beloved national holidays. As you mentioned, other countries, Canada has a Thanksgiving, they do it earlier in October, but it's similar. In the US, this is the time of year when our farmers harvest their crops, fall, October, November. And so it was traditionally a time when farmers would slaughter animals, would prepare for winter, and you'd have a big celebration. So that's what we do, and now it's a sacred holiday. Every American, I think they love this holiday. They bring in their own traditions. This is I guess the traditional one with roast turkey. We can go over some of these things, but other families with Italian roots or Kenyan roots or wherever you're from, people bring in their own traditions. I have my own traditions for my family. So there's always some variation. There's no law requiring that we do it this way. It's just some of these are traditions. I tend to be a little bit more on the traditional side. So when we get together with friends here in Nairobi, I bring the more traditional food. And some people go a little bit crazy and they'll have other like tofu turkeys or other things. But
so majority of Americans celebrate it, with the turkeys here. So why is turkey so symbolical? And you say, people bring different traditions, but turkey is what we know it for. Then why is turkey so preferred?
There's some mythology around it. So it goes back 400 or 500 years from when the first English settlers came to the U.S., the Pilgrims, and the story, the founding myth, and there are some Native Americans who disagree with how this story is told, but that the Pilgrims, the settlers, learned from the Native Americans how to survive on this new land, and there was a lot of wild turkeys that were living there. This is like New England, Massachusetts, around Boston. So they ate the turkeys, and even today there's a lot of wild turkeys in the U.S., and so they're kind of easy if you wanted to hunt them. And they have a lot of meat, as you will find out. They're very tasty, and it was just something kind of extravagant to celebrate their survival.
They're very tasty. Does it taste like chicken? If you can compare it to chicken, what does it taste like?
Or does turkey taste like chicken, or chicken tastes like turkey? I don't know.
Either or.
It's poultry. It's a big bird. So yeah, it tastes a bit like chicken.
All right, I should have started with this when we were starting this conversation, but what are you thankful for this morning?
We are very thankful for, the reason we do this really is to thank you, to thank journalists, because we think what journalists do in Kenya is very important. Kenya and the United States both have constitutional rights for a free press. We believe, even I'm speaking as a government official, but that it's vital. The reason we have survived for 250 years, a lot of it's because of the press. They've kept our politicians honest. They've been the voice of the people. When we've had struggles in our country, the journalists are the ones that often bring some sanity, bring some reminders to why certain laws are the way they are. They shine lights on problems, and we think the Kenyan journalists are worthy of thanking and worthy of a dinner. And I think it's what you do to the country is very important, and it's made your democracy. It's made Kenya stronger by having people like you, TV47, other media houses in Kenya. So we are grateful for what you do. We've been doing this for about 10 years. We bring turkeys to various media houses. We're not able to cover everyone in Kenya, so we're sorry to those journalists who we are missing, but we'll try next year.
It's for all of us.